I just finished Dispatch and I don't know what to do with myself. For the last month, I've been eagerly anticipating each week's next batch of episodes, and now that it's over, I'm just sitting here feeling empty. It's that feeling you get when a show you've been following ends and you're not quite ready to let it go. I haven't felt that with a game in years. Dispatch is truly special. Obviously, spoilers for the whole season, so if you haven't finished it, come back when you have, but we're just gonna get straight into my thoughts on the finale and the game as a whole. The first thing that hit me about said finale was how much the choices actually matter compared to the rest of the game. In my first video, I questioned whether decisions would have real weight, and for most of the season, choices just tweak scenes here and there, but the finale has some seriously big decisions that shape how everything ends. One example, after the big confrontation with Shroud and the Red Ring, you're forced to choose between giving him the real astral pulse, the fake one, or both at the same time.
What the f is this, Robert?
You said you wanted the astral pulse. I gave it to you. One of those is it.
They look f***ing identical, Robert.
And from what I can tell, this choice can massively change the outcome, especially when combined with how you've been treating Invisigal throughout the game. If you've been supporting her and guiding her towards being a hero, she stays loyal. If you pushed her away or couldn't forgive her bad choices, she'll actually embrace her villainous side and the game will end in a very sour way. The other major decision is whether you kill Shroud or not. Earlier in the game, I promised Chase I wouldn't because that's not the hero's way, and I stuck to my word. I spared him even though it was incredibly tempting not to. I think I'm a very forgiving person in general, but even so, this choice was tough. In that scene with Chase, he'll actually disapprove if you say you'll kill Shroud, so out of respect for him, I did what he'd want me to do. I love how many difficult choices the game throws at you. In the finale especially, I had to pause so many times just to give myself time to think through each decision. These last few weeks have all led up to these final 2 episodes, and the last thing I wanted was to mess it all up. Speaking of messing up, the dispatching in the finale is absolutely incredible. You can really feel how far your team has come. It made me think back to the end of episode 2 when Robert vowed to take the Z team seriously and turn them into proper heroes. That all comes together beautifully here, with your heroes finally being overpowered and able to handle everything thrown at them. But I mentioned messing up, and man oh man, I do have regrets. Sonar, or Coop, depending on who you cut, makes a comeback in these episodes, except this time they're not on your team. They're working for Shroud. During the dispatching segments, you have to fight them. In my case, it was Sonar, and these fights are actually really difficult on top of solving other crimes in the city. My team was stretched thin, and I didn't manage to beat him. And I think this led to the only part of my ending that wasn't satisfactory. Sonar gets taken away by the police, even though the team welcomes him back in, and I wasn't able to make that call. It wasn't until the credits that I found out you can get a different outcome, and man, it hurts. Making me choose between Coop and Sonar was bad enough, but now you're making me watch this? These devs are evil! I need to talk about the Invisigal situation. Episode 7 has this Z-team meeting where everyone votes on whether to cut Invisigal from the team after what she did in episode 6. The only one who votes to keep her is Golem, and I was completely with him. Everyone in that room has made mistakes and bettered themselves since. That's what the Phoenix program is about, redemption. So I genuinely believed she deserved another chance. It's a shame that after placing my faith in her like that, I came to realize she'd betrayed and lied to me multiple times. If there's one thing this finale does, it's make you feel conflicted. In earlier episodes, it felt like like you were actually bonding with her, opening up to each other, building something. But in the finale, she becomes someone you don't know anymore. Apart from the kiss in the locker room, which was wild, she barely shows any passion or true friendship for Robert. Instead, she's stuck in this weird limbo where she's not quite a hero but not quite a villain either, and the game keeps throwing moments at you where you have to choose whether to forgive her or turn against her. She keeps lying, keeps hiding things, and I'm supposed to trust her when she won't trust me? Despite this, I stuck by her side, but it felt like I had to rather than wanted to. Even though the ending made it worth it, everything still felt off. I never knew what her real intentions were throughout that finale. The game made me doubt her multiple times. There's this moment where she's tied up after getting caught trying to steal the astral pulse. Looking back, she was probably just trying to get it to the Mecha Man suit so I could use it, but in the moment, instead of explaining herself or apologizing, she's blunt and brushes off my concerns. I get that in the moment there wasn't time to explain, but it made me really cautious of her. I came close to giving up on her multiple times, but man, I'm glad I stuck by her in the end. Credits to the writers for making one of the most likable and interesting characters in the game so morally ambiguous that I had to keep second guessing my decisions with her. Oh my goodness me, editor's note, forget everything I said before. All of the slander about Invisigal, we missed the point. We missed the damn point. Shout out to this commenter right here on Belize's newest video. Oh my god, Vizzy had to look like she was playing both sides to throw Shroud off because of his powers to predict and anticipate everyone's next moves. Oh my god, it makes sense now. She never betrayed you once. I guess she did keep you in the dark, but it wasn't a lack of trust. It was just she was 10 steps ahead of everyone else. Oh my god. You know what, the only critique I have about this, because I fully believe in this explanation, this is the most logical reason, but the only thing I don't like about it is that it was never explained to you, because I got the good ending with Vizzy and she's still never told the reason behind all this lack of trust, supposedly. But oh my god, shout out to this person. Looking back now, after some reflection, I don't think she was ever trying to be a bad person. She had regrets and was trying to right her wrongs, but she was just going about things in a way that made it seem like I'd had the wrong impression of her, but I don't think I did. I was just conflicted about her until I had time to process everything, which was post-credits. In the infamous dream scene, she doesn't have the augment on her chest, which implies how much she despises that part of herself. If that's not evidence enough that she's trying to become a better person, I don't know what is. Editor's note again. I also keep seeing some terrible Twitter takes about how Invisigal is a grown woman and shouldn't be babied so she doesn't turn into a villain. Even if she does need to be babied, that has been your job from the beginning. From episode 1 when you agreed to join the SDN. If you worked as, say, a cleaner at a hotel or something, you wouldn't just decide to stop tidying the rooms just because it'll get dirty anyway, right? If you worked as a therapist, you wouldn't dump your patients or clients because they're beyond saving. A lot of us thought kicking Sonar or Coop from the team was already not logical because that just means you're dropping them back into the street to return to crime. Why should it be any different with Invisigal? The entire point of the Phoenix program is to reform criminals. You've helped out the rest of the Z team. Invisigal is just more difficult of a task. That's all it is. It's not babying, it's being resilient in your job. The majority of people also picked Waterboy over Phenomenon, even though Waterboy can't do shit. We did that because we see the goodness and potential in him. For people not to recognize that Vizzy always had good intentions at heart is just ignorant. I think I've accepted that in my playthrough she was playing Shroud the whole time, but to play Shroud, she obviously had to play me and the SDN a little bit. She was playing everyone, but her end goal was always to take him down. But overall, I don't see how you can get the other ending, the one where she becomes a villain, and accept that as the good ending. The whole point of the Phoenix program is to fix people and believe in their redemption. You can doubt Invisigal, but you shouldn't give up on her entirely, because no one is born to be evil. It's difficult, but that is your job. Robert giving Invisigal that time of day allows her to start seeing the world in a new light, and I just think that's very beautiful. I've seen creators who think Invisigal deserves to be abandoned for what she's done. And same with Coop or Sonar. I've seen streamers not allow them back into the team, and while these guys do up massively when they switch sides, you have to see it from their perspective. They were cut out of the Phoenix program. They were upset. They went back to doing the only thing they knew. I understand being mad at them and giving them jail time, but isn't it so much nicer seeing Sonar smile and realize he does actually have a group of people that accept him even though he messed up? Anyway, that's that rant over with. A common critique I saw online was that the devs sidelined Blazer and pushed Invisigal to the forefront that entire game. I get that that's annoying, even as someone who had no interest in Blazer's character. I think the devs should have just sucked it up and made it clear that Invisigal was the canon romance. They were indicating towards that the whole game, but for some reason they kept Blazer on the table. I guess just for the illusion of more choice. Blazer doesn't appear nearly enough compared to Vizzy, and I think all of this comes back to my critique from the first video, one that I'm not gonna take back. The episodes are too short. The finale feels abrupt compared to the rest of the game, which is mostly a workplace drama and comedy. Then suddenly the entire city goes to chaos and there's this big raid on LA, and it just feels slightly rushed. As I said before, Invisigal feels like a stranger in the finale, and I think that's because we didn't get enough time to know her throughout the season. The episodes are only 50 minutes, and a lot of that is dedicated for dispatching, which I'm happy about. I really enjoy it, but it means that the cutscenes at the start and end of each episode are on the shorter side. There wasn't enough build-up for this finale. I'm still happy with how it ended, but I don't think it was as good as it could have been. Going back to Blazer for a second, she really stepped up in this finale, especially during the sardine rescue. Easily one of the best moments in the game. Seeing a top-tier hero like Blazer in this raw, primal anger state was awesome. She makes several big appearances throughout the finale, and because I was doing pretty badly at dispatching, she and Phenomenon actually joined the Z team temporarily, which made the dispatching here the most fun out of the entire game. It was cool seeing everyone come together like that, even if it was just for a moment. But the finale works because of what came before it, so let's talk about the rest of the season and the game as a whole. Episodes 3 through 6 are easily my favorite part of the game. The workplace drama, going out with the team, making personal decisions like whether to reveal your superhero identity, that's where this game shines. I love the cast and how they interact with each other, the lightheartedness of it all, those little moments like the Invisigal dance or the bar scene, that's what stuck with me. I'll have fond memories of this game in a few months or years because it doesn't feel like the usual stuff I play, the RPGs, the action games. It's just a good time with some of the best character writing in recent memory. The community aspect is something I won't forget either. Playing this at the same time as everyone else online, reading theories about what'll happen next week, people sharing moments or scenes that I missed. It made the experience so much better. What this tells me is that despite Telltale almost dying, there's still a massive market for these types of games. Hopefully Dispatch's success will convince Telltale to finally get Wolf Among Us 2 out. I'm willing to call this one of the best Telltale style games of all time. For me, it's close between The Walking Dead and Dispatch, but what really makes Dispatch stand out is the dispatching itself. I mentioned this in my original video and I'm standing by it. It makes the game so unique. I know people have said they wish they could explore and move around, but I personally disagree. The linear structure of the game with dispatching in between was the right call. It kept the story focused and it meant everyone was on the same page, finishing at the same time. I also definitely see myself replaying this soon just because I wasn't happy with my dispatching run. I'm really glad they figured out a way to make a story game this replayable with the gameplay elements though. Leveling up characters, trying to solve crimes successfully. It's such a good gameplay loop. So let's talk about Season 2, because I think they have a real gem here with Dispatch. It would be such a missed opportunity to not do a Season 2 at this point, especially with the popularity the game has gained. The developers have actually said they're now considering it due to the game's success, which I'm so excited about. I think they should stick to Robert's story. There's so much I still want to know. More about his backstory, his father, maybe his mother who's never mentioned, the dynamic between Chase and Robert when they were younger. There's that flashback at the start of episode 7 where we see young Robert and Chase, and we find out that they were like brothers. I'd love to see more of that. They've got such a brilliant and memorable cast of characters that I don't see them not continuing Robert's story. I actually think Dispatch will eventually become bigger than just the games. This was originally meant to be a TV show before they decided on making it a game, which I think was the right decision, but I have a feeling they're going to want to expand into other media eventually. They've already got comic books, and I could see spin-off TV shows or games happening. Maybe I'm thinking too big, considering they weren't even originally planning a season 2, but they've got something really good here that they cannot miss out on. Dispatch is easily one of my favorite games this year, and if you're curious about what my actual game of the year is, I've got a video coming out for that next Friday, so be on the lookout for that. I'm gonna clock out now. See ya.